Hey y'all, what's up? It's Loren LoRosa here talking about my guys over at Top Dog Law. Now you've heard the name, you've seen them around, and if you've ever been in a car accident, slip and fall, or even a worksite injury, you already know the move. Top Dog Law is where you call to get every dollar you deserve. Don't settle for nothing small because nothing should be small this season. Top Dog fights for real results, big cases, big wins, and you don't have to pay them a dime unless they win for you. It's a free consultation, no pressure, just real talk about what your case could be worth. Call now or check them out on Instagram at Top Dog Law or hit up topdoglaw.com. Let the top dogs handle it. Now, let's get back to the show.
LL Cool, babe, what you delivering today?
Delivering some news because Diddy is about to be in court in front of this judge. So that is what we're delivering. So, so today is the day that Sean Diddy Combs will be sentenced. Now, there's a lot happening. So last night on the eve of his sentencing, his team submitted their sentencing conversation. It was like a 61 page packet. It included, a letter from Diddy. It included just some conversation in, pleas to the judge. So what we found out was that four of his attorneys will be speaking in court today. Diddy, yesterday there was some news that broke that he potentially wanted to speak in this sentencing package. They give a little bit more detail on the fact that he does want to speak to the judge. They say that, this proceeding holds significant importance for Mr. Combs. So he wishes to appear before the court, address your honor, and allocate in the most dignified and respectful fashion possible. He wants to speak for himself. This will be the first time that we've heard Diddy speak long form in court this whole trial.
I think he should. Now, you're 55 years old and you're facing 20 years. Why wouldn't you speak for yourself?
But I was thinking about this, right? When you speak to the judge is wants to hear that you're sorry, right? You're apologetic, that, you wish you could do things, that you reform, you're going to do better, right?
Yeah.
But just a couple of days ago, you wanted an acquittal because you said you did nothing wrong. So how do you go in front of that same judge and, and say sorry when 3 days ago you wanted acquittal because you felt like...
Well, the best apology is change behavior, but you're not going to know if his behavior changed until he, in the future.
Yes, well, Envy, to your point, from what I understand, what he did with that whole Rule 29 thing, it can be looked at as procedural too. Like, this is something anybody would do in that circumstance.
Yeah,
so speaking of forgiveness, Diddy wrote a letter to the judge that we'll get into, but they also submitted a link to a video that will be played in court, and it's like an 11-minute video that talks about the life that he lived outside of court and outside of prison, and his kids are involved. Let's take a listen to some of that video.
Today, now I'm a full-time dad, and I'm gonna be there for you through everything, all of y'all.
Every Sunday, I gotta slow everything down and do the family ritual, get the family together, make sure the girls watching church.
Pops, I love you. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for inspiring.
I've looked up to you and admired you outside of you just being my father, just you being just a great human being, a kind human being.
I love how you inspire me to keep going, to never stop following my dreams, to always believe in myself.
I wanted to tell you how much I love you, how much I care for you. Thank you for being so supportive.
We love you. We can't wait to make more memories with you. Just want to thank you for everything you do for us.
Yeah. In order for me to get into heaven, I'm not going to get in there, well, come on in heaven, you had 20 hit records. That don't mean nothing. They're going to say, oh, come on in heaven, you was a nice person.
I love you.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Hi, Daddy.
The baby love part always gets you. Yeah, so in that video you see there's like a part that talks about Kim Porter and her passing away, and it's just to humanize him a bit to the judge and to the court. But the letter that Diddy submitted was 4 pages, and I highlighted it's a pretty lengthy, but I highlighted some important parts. So in the beginning of the letter, he takes accountability. Diddy takes accountability for everything he's done. He says, I want to apologize and say I'm sincerely sorry for all that I have hurt and the pain that I've caused others by my conduct. I take full responsibility and accountability for my past wrongs. This has been the hardest 2 years of my life. I have no one to blame for my current reality and situation but myself. In my life, I've made many mistakes, but I'm not any longer running from them. Then he talks about the Cassie video. He says, the scene and images of me assaulting Cassie play over and over in my head daily. I literally lost my mind. I was dead wrong for putting my hands on the woman that I loved. I honestly feel sorry for something that I couldn't forgive someone else for if they put their hands on my daughters. This is why it's so hard for me to forgive myself. It was like a deep wound that leaves an ugly scar. Then he mentions Jane Doe, who also testified and was one of his former girlfriends, and he says that he thought that he was helping her and her child, but after hearing her testimony, he realized he hurt her, and he apologizes for that. He also talks about there's been times in jail where he felt like he was better off dead. But now he is choosing to live, and he wants to, a second chance at life, so he's asking a judge for that. He also reveals in this letter that his mom had a brain surgery throughout this whole process. But she's been there supporting him every day in court, and he wants to get home to be her caretaker and get back home to his children. And he's just asking the judge for a second chance in this letter.
Yeah. I pray folks is learning from this situation. Like, I don't care how much money you got, how much success and fame you have. If you're not moving right, it will catch up, and trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of, and it is very important to be disciplined and focused. And that video that played with all his family, those are the people you should be thinking about every day, because when you aren't moving the way you should be moving, those are going to be the people impacted the most when you crash.
You're absolutely right. The only thing I would say, and this is the one thing that bothers me, right? Diddy has done some treacherous and some nasty things we've seen on video to women, and we've seen that. My only thing is, and I'm not saying that what Diddy did wasn't right, is he's being convicted of transportation to engage in prostitution, right? That's what his charges are, right? So that's what he should be judged on, those charges.
That's the conversation.
That's what the law says, right? And I hate the fact that everybody puts everything else around him, but the only thing that we should be focused on today is what his charges are.
But you do know those charges are still carrying 20 years.
I know. But that's what we should be focused on. Like, even his apology, I apologize for, hitting Cassie and all that. Yes, you should have did that a long time ago, but the charges is what he should be, is what he's facing today.
Yes, but those charges still carry 20 years.
I know that.
So you got to do he got to do everything that he's doing right now. He has to.
I know that.
Everything. Yeah, especially because a lot of it too. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but people forget that a lot of it is these women are saying that the reason why they were able to even be somewhere where people could fly in and have sex is because they were fearing for their lives, and that fearing for their lives goes back to the narrative around all of the beatings of the women and all those things.
I understand that completely, but he's being charged with prostitution and engaging in prostitution, and that's what his charges should be, and that's what the judge should be looking at.
But Cassie keep writing letters too. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So you think the judge not going to take that into account?
Exactly.
Too? Although the charges are not for that, she writing the letter saying she's having nightmares every night. She's fearing for her family. You know what I'm saying? So he got to counter it.
And he knows, and his team knows that they're not looking at him just for rubbing semen on his nipples.
Why you always got to say that?
No, I mean, but that's the thing too. They got these two sex doctors that they're trying to get to be able to speak in court that'll say Diddy has his sexual urges and all of that together, because that's a part of it. There's
like sex addiction. Who did that back in the day? Somebody. That was
Eric Benet.
Was Eric Benet?
Didn't he do that with Halle Berry and said that was the reason he cheated or something like that?
Now
I want
to read one letter
allegedly,
that I don't. This wasn't submitted to the judge, but it surfaced yesterday. 50 Cent posted a letter.
Oh boy.
He said, "Dear Judge Submarinian, I probably said that name wrong. I have an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I fear for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite him trying to teach a class there. As you already aware, the government has spent." He goes into that. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it. My Netflix doc on his scandalous subject is coming soon. 50 played too much.
50 crazy.
It's been very serious all day, and he posted that letter.
Crazy.
So
yes.
I think he submitted it. You think he submitted it?
He put it online.
It was a text bubble, so
I tell you one thing. Days like today are interesting too, because it really shows how fickle the timeline is. Because depending on what the sentencing is, everything that's trending online now is going to change.
Yes.
Immediately.
Oh.
Immediately.
I think going to change regardless, depending on the whole thing. At 10 o'clock is going to be Diddy.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's already starting. Last night, it felt like that. It felt like they were calling it Sentencing Eve, and that was trending yesterday. So everything and every post, all the outlets, all the headlines were about Diddy and something leading into the sentencing.
I mean, Loren went and got a custom-made outfit for it.
Touche.
You know
First
what I'm saying?
The suit was already made. I just went and got it.
Oh, okay.
I walked into my purpose. I didn't go get it made.
Well, you look like a high-ranking executive.
As long as it's high-ranking, baby.
Okay. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
What can Brown do?
Hold up. Every day I wake up. Wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?